Hello and welcome to the garden. You can feel it in the air, can't you? That first hint of warmth that tells us spring is just around the corner. It's a time of renewal and excitement, a chance to get our hands back in the soil and create something beautiful and productive. Over the next few weeks, we'll be taking a walk through the garden together, step by step, to prepare for a successful and abundant growing season. Spring is coming, and now's the time to prepare your garden for a productive season. Let's cover practical tasks to kick off your best gardening year yet. Now, before we even think about sowing seeds or planting, let's take a moment to consider the layout of your garden. I find it's helpful to stand back, perhaps with a cup of tea in hand, and survey the space. Imagine you're a bird looking down. What do you see? This bird's eye view allows you to assess your garden's structure and flow. Are there clear walkways? Is there a designated space for composting? Do your raised beds need a bit of tidying up? Think about the journey you take through your garden. Is it easy to navigate? Do you have easy access to your water source? Perhaps you've been meaning to add a new seating area, a place to pause and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Sketching out your ideas on paper can be incredibly helpful. Remember, a well-planned garden is not only productive, but also a joy to work in. Walkways are the arteries of your garden, ensuring smooth movement between beds and reducing soil compaction. I prefer a generous width, allowing for wheelbarrows and perhaps a friend or two to stroll alongside. Consider the materials you use. Gravel or bark chippings look natural and provide good drainage. Raised beds are a godsend, especially if, like me, you garden on heavy clay soil. They provide excellent drainage, warm up quickly in the spring, and reduce the need for bending. Now's the time to repair any broken sides, top up with fresh compost, and ensure they're level. Defining your planting zones is crucial. Consider the amount of sunlight each area receives throughout the day. Some plants, like tomatoes and peppers, crave sunshine, while others, like lettuce and spinach, prefer a bit of shade, especially as the days grow warmer. Mark out these areas on your plan. Remember, this is your garden, your personal oasis. Don't be afraid to experiment, to move things around, and to adapt your layout to suit your needs and preferences. The beauty of gardening is that it's an ever-evolving process. If you had the foresight to plant cover crops last autumn, like crimson clover or winter rye, your soil will be thanking you now. These unsung heroes of the garden work tirelessly throughout the colder months, preventing erosion, improving soil structure, and fixing nitrogen from the air. Now it's time to reap the benefits. Before your cover crops go to seed, cut them down at the base, leaving the roots intact. I prefer to use a sharp pair of shears or a scythe for this task. Once cut, allow the foliage to wilt for a week or two. This process, known as chop and drop, allows the nutrients in the plants to break down and become readily available to your spring plantings. Once wilted, incorporate the cover crop residue into the top few inches of soil. You can use a fork or a light tiller, but I find a simple garden rake does the trick. Be careful not to disturb the soil too deeply. You don't want to bring up weed seeds. This addition of organic matter is like adding vitamins to your soil. It improves drainage, increases water retention, and provides a feast for beneficial microbes. Your soil will be bursting with life, ready to nourish your spring plantings. If you didn't get around to planting cover crops last year, don't worry. You can still give your soil a boost by adding a thick layer of well-rotted compost or manure. Early spring vegetables. A head start on the season. The crisp air of early spring might feel a bit chilly, but it's the perfect time to sow seeds for some of our hardiest vegetables. These cool season crops thrive in the cooler temperatures and shorter days, and they're a welcome addition to our plates after a long winter. Spinach, with its tender leaves packed with nutrients, is a must-have in my spring garden. Sow seeds directly into well-prepared soil, and within a few weeks, you'll be enjoying fresh salads. Radishes, those little bursts of peppery flavor, are another quick-growing crop that can be sown directly outdoors in early spring. They come in a variety of colors and shapes, adding a touch of vibrancy to your vegetable patch. Carrots, with their long taproots, prefer a loose, stone-free soil. Sow seeds thinly in rows and be patient. They can take a bit longer to germinate, but the reward of pulling up a bunch of sweet, crunchy carrots is well worth the wait. To give your seedlings a head start and protect them from any late frosts, consider using row covers. These lightweight fabrics allow light and water to penetrate while creating a warmer microclimate underneath. As the weather warms up, Gradually acclimatize your seedlings to the outdoors by removing the row covers for increasingly longer periods each day. This process, known as hardening off, helps to prevent transplant shock. Remember to water your seedlings regularly, especially during dry spells, and keep an eye out for any signs of pests or diseases. With a bit of care and attention, you'll be enjoying the bounty of your early spring harvest in no time. Tools of the trade caring for your garden companions. Our gardening tools are extensions of ourselves, essential companions on our journey to create a thriving garden. Just as we care for ourselves, it's essential to give our tools a bit of TLC, especially after a long winter's rest. Gather your tools together and let's give them a thorough inspection. Check for any signs of wear and tear. Are there any loose handles? Are the blades of your secateurs still sharp? A blunt tool is not only frustrating to use, but can also damage your plants. Start by cleaning off any caked-on mud or debris. A stiff brush and a bucket of soapy water work wonders. Once clean and dry, sharpen any tools that require a keen edge. A sharp spade makes digging a joy, and a pair of well-honed secateurs will ensure clean cuts, promoting healthy plant growth. Oiling your tools is essential to prevent rust, especially those with metal parts. Linseed oil or a specialized tool oil will do the trick. Apply a thin coat with a rag, paying particular attention to joints and moving parts. Once your tools are clean, sharp and oiled, it's time to organize them. A well-organized shed or tool rack makes finding the right tool a breeze, saving you time and frustration. I like to hang my tools, which keeps them off the ground and prevents them from becoming damp. Taking the time to care for your tools is an investment in your gardening future. Well-maintained tools will not only last longer, but will also make your gardening tasks more enjoyable and efficient. Mulch, a gardener's best friend. As the saying goes, mulch is a gardener's best friend, and for good reason. This simple yet effective technique offers a multitude of benefits, suppressing weeds, conserving moisture, and improving soil fertility as it breaks down. Now is the perfect time to apply a fresh layer of mulch to your garden beds, giving your plants a cozy blanket to see them through the spring. Organic mulches like shredded bark, wood chips, or straw are my preferred choice. They decompose slowly, adding valuable nutrients to the soil. Keep the mulch a few inches away from the base of your plants to prevent rot. It also helps to retain moisture, reducing the need for frequent watering. But perhaps the most significant benefit of mulch is its ability to suppress weeds. As the mulch decomposes, it adds valuable organic matter to the soil, improving its structure, drainage, and fertility. It's a win-win situation for both your garden and the environment. As we've explored these practical steps together, I hope you've found a renewed sense of purpose and excitement for the gardening season ahead. From planning and soil care to early plantings and essential maintenance, each task lays the groundwork for a truly rewarding spring. Make the most of spring by starting early and setting strong foundations for a productive season.